Welcome to Venkat Sai Coaching Institutions Kadapa. Today we are going to discuss about current affairs. Current affairs of 11th January. 11th January. So you can view this video in Venkat Sai Coaching Institute YouTube channel, and my name is Charan. I am dealing current affairs here. So we will see the current affairs topic of 11th January. So the important one today is about World Hindi Day. World Hindi Day. World Hindi Day. It is observed on 10th January. World Hindi Day is observed on 10th January. So it has been started celebrating from 2006 on the date of 10th January. So why we are celebrating it on 10th January? What is the importance of 10th January? So in 1975, then Prime Minister of India Indira Gandhi, the then Prime Minister of India Indira Gandhi have organized a world Hindi conference. World Hindi Conference. So its objective, its aim, the objective of World Hindi Conference is to promote the use of Hindi language abroad, that is at the international stage. At the international stage, to promote the use of Hindi as a language is the aim of that World Hindi Conference, which was organized in 1975 by the then Prime Minister Indira Gandhi in Nagpur. So we have to observe the clear difference here. So World Hindi Day is being celebrated in September. The National Hindi Day is being celebrated in September, and the World Hindi Day is celebrated on January 10th. On September 15th, we celebrate National Hindi Day. But on January we celebrate or we observe World Hindi Day. So what is the difference between these two? What is the difference between these two is National Hindi Day is celebrated because we have adopted Hindi as official language of India in 1949, September 15th. So on this occasion we celebrate National Hindi Day on September 15th, while January 10th we have organized World Hindi Conference in Nagpur to promote the use of Hindi language at global stage. Hindi language at global stage. To promote the use of Hindi language at global stage. That's why we observed World Hindi Day on January 10th and National Hindi Divas or National Hindi Day on September 15th. This is the main difference between World Hindi Day and National Hindi Day. Many people get confused between National Hindi Day and World Hindi Day. So if you know the objective, if you know why World Hindi Day is being celebrated, you can answer easily to these type of questions. So we will also see how many World Hindi conferences have been held. So the first World Hindi Conference was held in 1975 at Nagpur. So the latest being held was 11th World Hindi Conference in Mauritius. In 2018. So the latest World Hindi Conference was being celebrated in Mauritius in 2018, and it is the 11th World Hindi Conference. So there is also the future outlook, that is the next World Hindi Conference is going to be organized in the island Fiji, the Fiji island. So it is going to be 12th World Hindi Conference. 12th World Hindi Conference. Till now there has been 11 World Hindi Conferences organized, and the 12th is going to be organized in Fiji. The latest being is the 11th one, which was organized in Mauritius in 2018. So you have to know about these World Hindi Conferences when they were started in 1975, and the latest being the 11th World Hindi Conference in 2018, where it was organized in Mauritius. So the next one, the 12th one, the 12th World Hindi Conference in 2021 is going to be organized in Fiji Islands. In Fiji Islands. So this year there is going to be a 12th World Hindi Conference which is going to be organized in Fiji Islands. These are some important points of World Hindi Conference and World Hindi Day. So World Hindi Day was observed on 10th January. So the tradition of celebrating World Hindi Day started in 2006. So to promote the usage of Hindi language on the global stage, on the international level, we celebrate or we observe World Hindi Day every year on January 10th. We have seen why we choose the date January 10th, and we have also seen about World Hindi Conferences. World Hindi Conferences. So the next current affairs is about legal identity number. Legal identity number. So what is this legal identity number? And what? So let's see the features of this legal identity number. Legal identity number and its features. It was introduced by RBI. So what is the major function of this legal identity number? Legal identity number. The major function. The major function of legal identity number is to identify the parties. To identify the parties involved in a financial transaction. In a financial transaction that is greater than 50 crores and above. So whenever a transaction takes place that is more than 50 crores between two entities, there generates a legal identity number which is 20-digit unique code. 20-digit unique code called as legal identity number. This legal identity number is tagged to that specific transaction, so that whenever someone want to know the details of the transaction, the unique legal identity number will direct to the parties involved in the transaction. So this is the major use of this legal identity number. So till now only the derivatives are derivative market, that is in the stock market only, the legal identity number is being used. From January 10th onwards, RBI has issued to all banks the notification to generate the legal identity number for the transactions above 50 crores and more. For the transactions above 50 crores and more. What is the major benefit of this legal identification number. So we have done about major functions. Now we will see the major benefit of legal identification number. So one of the major benefit of legal identification number is to improve the quality and the accuracy of data, that is being generated. So when we know the accurate data of what the transaction is going to be, so the recent transaction that has happened is a qualitative transaction or it is an illegal transaction. So to know the data, to know the entities which are being involved in the transaction, so the LIN helps. The LIN helps in knowing the entities involved in the transaction and the quality of transaction, whether the transaction happened is legal or illegal activities. So these are the major benefits of LIN. So let's see. Legal identity number is introduced by RBI. Till now, the legal identity number is only being used in stock market. But the RBI has issued the notification to all banks to make sure that the transactions that are greater than 50 crore and above through the NEFT and RTGS settlement system taking place will be attached a unique legal identity number. So this is the second current affair. So till now we have discussed about the major functions of legal identification number and the benefits and the notification issued by RBI. So this is in news because the RBI has mandated all the banks to make sure that the transactions that are going to be above the 50 crore be attached a unique legal identity number. So this is the second current affair. Next one, Payment Infrastructure and Development Fund. This is also a scheme of RBI. So RBI has operationalized, that is make it functional. Operationalized means RBI has operationalized Payment Infrastructure Development Fund. Payment Infrastructure and Development Fund. So we will see what it is and what are its features. So why it is in news? It is in news because RBI has started operationalizing the Payment Infrastructure and Development Fund. So first of all, we need to know about the cities that are classified in India. So Tier 1 to Tier 6. The cities and towns in India are classified in 6 tiers. So a Tier 3 city will have population greater than 50,000 to 1 lakh. A Tier 4 city will have population from 20,000 to 49,999. A Tier 5 city will have population from 10,000 to 19,999. And a Tier 6 city will have population above 5,000 to 9,999. This is the classification of Indian towns and cities according to the government as Tier 1 to Tier 6 based on population. So clear? The cities are being classified as tiers 1 to 6 based on population. So the scheme, the Payment Infrastructure Development Fund, which is operational by RBI, is majorly to focus on the payment infrastructure development. Payment infrastructure development in tier 3 to tier 6 cities or towns. So in the tier 3 to tier 6 cities, to make sure that the digital payments gets a thrust, RBI has launched this scheme. So what are the features of this scheme? The objective of the scheme is to develop the payment infrastructure in tier 3 to tier 6 cities. That is the objective. So what does this scheme do? The scheme will subsidize the deployment of payment infrastructure. Simply, in a tier 3 or tier 4 city, suppose a shopkeeper want to buy a card or a swiping machine, and he is not being able to buy because of its high cost. So the RBI subsidizes the cost of the machine so that the shopkeeper can buy and use that to promote the digital payments in India. In tier 3 to tier 6 cities, it subsidizes the payment infrastructure cost so that the digital payments in the country will increase. So this is the function. The objective and the function. Next we will see about the stakeholders who all are involved under this PIDF. The stakeholders are: the first, RBI with 250 crores. The second set of stakeholders are the card network issuers. For example, the Visa card network, the RuPay card network, the MasterCard network. And the third stakeholders are card issuing banks. So these two stakeholders have to fund 100 crores in PIDF. The total becomes 350 crores. So RBI, with its funding of 250 crores and the card network issuers like MasterCard, RuPay and Visa, these card issuers along with the card issue banks shall fund 100 crores to the scheme annually, so that the overall objective of the scheme, which is to develop the payment infrastructure and to make sure that the digital payments grow in India, even in rural areas, so the PIDF has been set up. This is the third current affair. So Payment Infrastructure and Development Fund. The objective is to subsidize the payment acceptance infrastructure, which is the swiping machines or the point of sale machines, which are which cost is a deterrent to a shopkeeper. So if he gets the same swiping machine at subsidized rates, he will afford it, so that the digital payments will increase. So that PIDF program is managed by an advisory council set up by RBI under the chairmanship of Deputy Governor of RBI. Under the chairmanship of Deputy Governor of RBI. RBI has one governor plus 4 deputy governors. So one of the deputy governor is chairman of this advisory council, which manages the PIDF scheme. So this is about the Payment Infrastructure and Development Fund. Like the summary is the objective, how it functions, and who are the stakeholders. So this is the third current affair. The next one we will see is about the Thousands Island and the issue of the Boeing which was missed, which was out of the radar and crashed in the Java Sea. So from this issue we have to learn about the geographical part of Java and Indonesia. So as we can see, Jakarta is the capital of Indonesia, which is present in Java Island. So this is the Java Island, and Jakarta is the region or the capital of Indonesia, which is located in Java Island. A flight which has taken off from Java Island towards another island, Pontianak Island, has been crashed in Java Sea, near this Thousand Islands. So a question related to this will be framed like this, like the Thousands Island is in which country? The Thousand Islands recently in the news, Thousand Islands, which was seen recently in the news, is present near which country? So these type of questions will be asked in the current affairs. So the Thousand Islands is near Java, which is in the west side of Jakarta Bay. So Java is an island and Jakarta is a city which is also the capital city of Indonesia. So till recently Bali was the capital of Indonesia. Currently Jakarta is the capital. This is because Bali is an island which is drowning due to the rise in sea level. So the capital city, the old capital city, the Bali, is being flooded by water, the sea water, because there is a rise in sea level. So currently the capital city was shifted to Jakarta, which is the most populous island of the world. So Jakarta is the most populous island of the world and second most populous capital. After Tokyo, which is the capital of Japan. So Japan's capital city is the most populous capital, and Jakarta, which is the capital of Indonesia, is the second most populous city in the world. And Jakarta is also most populous island in the world. So Kepulauan Seribu is another name for this 1,000 islands. These 1,000 islands. So these are the facts related to 1,000 islands. That is, the 1,000 islands has a group of 342 islands, which were totally in an area of 42 square kilometers. So this is where the plane has get crashed. So the next current affairs is about vanadium. So why it is in news? Because the GSI, the Geological Survey of India, has found vanadium deposits in Arunachal Pradesh. So the GSI has found the vanadium deposits in Arunachal Pradesh. So vanadium is a rare earth metal. It is rarely found. So the major producers of vanadium are China, Russia, and China is also major consumer of vanadium. So what is the significance of this vanadium? Vanadium helps in strengthening the steel. So that's why vanadium is important. And steel, we can see the infrastructure that we are going to develop. The backbone of the infrastructure is the steel industry. We can also see in 2020 China has consumed more amount of iron and steel because it has been invested very much in infrastructural projects. So we can see the importance of vanadium. So vanadium is important because it helps to strengthen the steel which we use in infrastructure, as steel is the backbone of many infrastructure projects. So let us see about vanadium. Vanadium has the atomic number of 23. And its nature is hard metal. It is hard. However, it is malleable. That is, it is easily influenced even with a smaller force, and it is a metal. The color of vanadium is silver gray. So the nature of vanadium is it has the atomic number of 23, and it is a hard metal which is the color of silver gray, and it is malleable in nature. That is, it is easily influenced even with a smaller force. So the news is GSI, Geological Survey of India, has found deposits of vanadium in Arunachal Pradesh. Geological Survey of India has found the deposits of vanadium in Arunachal Pradesh. So we also saw about the importance of vanadium, its nature. So we will also see about GSI, the Geological Survey of India, with its in Kolkata was established in 1851. So, Geological Survey of India was established in 1851. This is the second oldest scientific organization of India. This is second oldest scientific organization of India. Second oldest scientific organization of India. This is under the Ministry of Mines. Ministry of Mines. Its parent ministry is Mines Ministry. So, what is the first or the oldest scientific organization of India is Survey of India. Is an organization established in 1767 in Kolkata. So this is the oldest scientific organization in India, and the second oldest is Geological Survey of India. It was established by British to know about the geological structure of India and what are the materials or metals that are being found in India, to make sure that they take those raw materials and use them in their industrial revolution. So the news is about GSI finding vanadium in Arunachal Pradesh. We have seen the nature of vanadium and its importance, and China has the major deposits of vanadium. After that, followed by Russia. And this is the first time the vanadium deposits are available in India, that too in Arunachal Pradesh. You can see the atomic number of vanadium and its atomic weight, its electronic configuration and properties, its symbol. So these are some of the information related to chemistry of vanadium. The next current affair is based on LIDAR, light detection and ranging. LIDAR, light detection and ranging. So why LIDAR is in news? Because LIDAR technology has been used to conduct a survey along the route of Delhi-Varanasi high-speed rail corridor. Delhi-Varanasi high-speed rail corridor. The LIDAR is in use because LIDAR technology has been used to conduct the survey of this corridor. So, what is LIDAR technology? How does it works? And what are the benefits? We will see here. So LIDAR technology. LIDAR means light detection and ranging. Light detection and ranging. LIDAR technology is majorly used to know the surface characteristics, the size and shape of objects present on the earth, to know the surface characteristics. The size and shape of objects present on the earth. So we will see how LIDAR technology works. So LIDAR is a remote sensing operation which can be done through satellites or through airborne instruments like helicopter, drone, etc. So LiDAR technology, LiDAR remote sensing can be done through satellites or through helicopters and drones. So the Delhi Varanasi high speed rail corridor LiDAR survey was done through a helicopter, with the help of helicopter. A LiDAR sensor and a GPS receiver and a scanner are the three instruments that are being fitted in a helicopter. And when the helicopter covers the range, covers a geographical range, the sensor sends signals. The sensor sends signals which hits the objects on the surface of the earth and then reflects back The reflected signals will be collected through the GPS receiver, and the scanner does the calculation, the measurement. So the three instruments are sensor, GPS receiver and scanner, which helps to calculate the height of objects and shapes of objects present on the Earth's surface. So this works like this: when the LiDAR sensor sends the pulsated lasers. What is pulsed lasers? So the pulsed lasers or pulsed infrared rays means the signal will be not continuous like this. The signal will be a periodic one. Why the periodic signals are sent? Because when a signal is sent and it hits the object identified, it reflects back to the scanner. So to make sure that the reflection and the hitting happens in certain cycle, pulsated lasers or pulsated infrared rays are used. So this is the meaning of pulsated or pulsed lasers. So the sensor sends the signals to the ground, and these signals reflect back to the airborne instrument, that is scanner, and the scanner does the calculations. So for example, you can see a signal coming down will hit the roof and gets reflected there. The scanner will calculate the time of reflection and the speed, and it gives the height of that object. So what is the benefit of using LiDAR technology? Usually to do a survey of these rail corridors, it takes 12 to 16 months. By using LiDAR technology, we can complete the whole survey in 3 to 4 months. Which makes sure the early completion of the project. So we have learned about LiDAR. So why in use? So what LiDAR means? How it works? And what are the benefits? So whenever you are going to start to read any subject or any current affairs, first of all question why. For example, you are studying current affair, question why it is in news. Why it is in news. Make sure you question yourself that why it is in news. The next will be what. So what is the news? The first is why is in news. The next is what is in the news. And the third one is how it is relevant to your preparation. How it is relevant to your preparation. If you are preparing for the regional level exams, then the focus is on facts. The focus is on facts. If you are preparing for the national level exams, the focus is on analysis. The focus is on analysis. Make sure that you do these three things when you are studying current affairs. When you are studying current affairs. This makes sure that you study very less but you memorize more. To prepare for any examination, you have to first make sure you have to know that what is irrelevant, what is not relevant to your exam, so that you can read what is relevant only. What is relevant only. So these are the today's current affairs. We have started with World Hindi Conference and World Hindi Day, which was celebrated on January 10th, that is yesterday. So what is its significance? And then we have studied about legal identification number, which was launched by RBI, and also study about Payment Infrastructure and Development Fund. Payment Infrastructure and Development Fund. This is also operationalized by RBI. And then we got to know about Thousands Island and Jakarta, which is the capital of Indonesia. And we also learned about the vanadium, its deposits in India, in Arunachal Pradesh, and about GSI, which is Geological Survey of India. And last week I also took note on LIDAR technology. Why it is in use, and what is LIDAR and how it works, and the benefits. These are the summary of current affairs on 11th January. Thank you.